Well, when I bought this, coupled it with that, and this to recreate the 1938 World Steam Speed Record attempt down Stoke Bank on my layout, I did wonder to myself if there was anything else on the market today that could detect, read, and tell me instantly the accurate scale speed of my locomotives in double O gauge, or if needs be, in other scales like TT122. Well, guess what?
Casey Jones, steaming and a-rolling. Casey Jones, you never have to guess. When you hear a tooting of the whistle, it's a Casey at the throttle of the Cannonball Express.
Hi, my name's Andy, and this is my channel, Modeloco, for all things model railway. And yes, with a UK model railway Modeloco exclusive for you today. So what's it all about? We're looking at a multi-scale, fully self-contained, rechargeable model train speed checker, and this is the latest version 3.0a speed stick from Model Train Technology. No computers, calculators, formulas, charts, stopwatches, tape rules, guessing games, rolling roads, wires to get tugged at, or pesky batteries and clip covers to fit, buy or replace with the built-in lithium cell that it ships with. Should you so wish, this unit can be hardwired via the base-mounted USB-C any way round plug-in charging port that has been cleverly positioned out of sight and thus can be easily connected through, say, a layout baseboard with minimum fuss. SpeedStick comes with a US-type plug-in charger and cable. For us here in the UK, that means adding a shaver plug, but any 5-volt phone chargers can also be used. Instructions advise you to charge on opening, making sure the unit is switched off via the top mounted toggle switch if you've tried it. Once you get it open, from it's usually around 75% charge state when initially turned on. A green LED will go out when charging is complete once the USB-C cable has been inserted and you begin charging. A full charge should last you 8 hours of continuous use. Doing all the reading on SpeedStick are two front-mounted, well-spaced, extremely accurate and fast-acting sensors using precision detection technology, which is immune to changes in ambient light conditions, you know, on layouts and stuff, and even works with no lights on at all. So it does work. I can't see where to plug that in now. Oh my gosh. There we are. Oh, lights at last. Adjustable heights can be achieved using a combination of the supplied push-in pillars provided along with the 2 feet. I did find it necessary in my trials to add the same foam underlay I use on all my track onto the feet for optimum detection because glints off track rails I felt were being read initially. The added underlay got rid of this, and I'll explain a bit more in a moment. Some of the various pillars supplied did need drill skimming out a bit, I think with about a 6mm drill, as the pushing fit was a little too tight, I felt, for my liking, onto the feet themselves. There are 2 locating holes for the feet and pillars under the unit. These required no attention and, if anything, were a little less of a transition fit, which means push in, so a tiny bit of black tack was added for optimum results. I do not recommend super gluing these feet in, as you may need to alter heights in future. In my trials, I found the setup here now works in both double O gauge and for TT120 every time without changing heights of the pillars or anything, and that's why adding that bit of underlay has helped. You have the choice too to set the auto sensing distance down from a default 150mm 5.9 inch sensing range, and so the speed stick will then ignore objects beyond the track you wish to measure. For example, another passing train on another track behind, or a building with a light in it that could catch one of the sensors and trigger it. I found I haven't had to alter the sensing range at present at all, but reflections or moving shadows of a closely mounted back scene, for instance, can sometimes interfere as well. Not always the case, but yes, on one part of my TT120 layout, this became apparent. This option to alter the sensing range, of course, sorts out any issues like this, or when SpeedStick can't be nudged back a little bit to stop those sensors detecting those shadows or whatever. Auto ranging, as the manual calls it, is easily achieved by the press of the yellow button, and the manual of course explains how to do this in one simple paragraph. Factory defaults or your last chosen settings are clearly displayed on every startup of the unit, along with a blue LED light. The logo displays, then the blue LED flashes 4 times to indicate sensors have started, have been checked and are operational. The speed stick version comes up, mine's the latest 3.0a as I said. The current battery level is then displayed, the sensing range, which of course the default is 150 millimeters, along with the set scale, which you can alter from Z to G, plus there's 5 European scales built in there as well. And then we've got miles per hour, kilometers per hour. It can be set into milliseconds, or it can go into loop mode. More on that in a short while. But yes, I've got this set at miles per hour, which is standard. And then ready is displayed when speed stick is set to start detecting with the settings indicated. And the unit is placed down on the baseboard with the display facing you and parallel to your track or tracks to be used for passing trains to be checked. MPH or miles per hour is the default setting, easily changed to kmh or kilometers per hour, and speed stick is also default shipped to measure HO scale trains, but these and the rest can simply be changed via just one yellow button right on the front of the unit next to the actual OLED display. Plus the unit remembers the last settings applied, and as I said, lists every time the unit is turned on all these settings that have been put into the unit and saved. A full shelf life charge of about 11 years is claimed with the unit turned off via the well-made top-mounted and strong positive action toggle switch, thus not easily turned on and off accidentally by loose hands or whatever, but high enough for fingers to quickly locate and switch on and off as you wish. Speed stick is available in a choice of 3 OLED display colours, yes, OLED, either yellow, white or blue, which are chosen when you order the units. Speed stick finally promises to simply give us reliable multi-scale answers to the questions that have intrigued me since I first set eyes on a model railway. It reads trains passing in both directions and indicates this with a well-defined bold arrow in yellow, or the colour of OLED screen you've chosen. The lower blue LED light will dim slightly after capturing has taken place and readout is given, and goes out when the speed stick is ready to read again. These sensors are so fast that they can see a gap between our coaches. Therefore, the system is designed to make sure all the trains have passed before a new reading can take place. This saves the unit ever getting or giving out confused messages with long passing rakes, or when multiple trains pass simultaneously. It reads the first train that triggers either one of the 2 front-mounted sensors, and then it goes to work. As mentioned earlier, the unit can also be used to detect most scales from Z to G and 5 popular European scales too, hence another reason I bought this unit. And speeds captured can be displayed in miles per hour or kilometers per hour, as I said. Apart from this though, speed stick can also be set to read in raw milliseconds for exceptionally accurate results when readings need to be more than 1/10 of a mile per hour or kilometers per hour. Another thing to note as well, if the train stops between sensors, then that blue light will not go out until this train has cleared this area. So if you had a breakdown or anything like that, you just push the train out of the way of the sensors, and then it's ready to start reading again once the layout starts or another train comes past in the other direction, say on another track. Also, a secondary mode called loop can be simply selected too, to precisely measure the time it takes a train to do one full run of your layout, for instance. And the OLED display begins to count when train activated in minutes, seconds and hundredths of a second on the continuously updated display, like a stopwatch. If another train passes in the meantime, then loop mode begins another stopwatch recording in elapsed time immediately after this, but the display freezes momentarily for you to note the time down that it stopped at initially. I make sure no other trains trigger this, but on my TT120 layout, I have a dumbbell type loop, so elapsed times are added together for calculating scale circuit lengths. And more on this in a moment. Now, the maximum time it can count for continuously is 59 minutes. So this can easily read even Pete Waterman's layout track loop lengths. So how do we do this then? Well, by using Model Train Technology's online widget. You can first note the speed of a train using speed stick and note it down what speed it's going at once it's calculated that. After this, select loop mode by then reading the time taken for this speed check train to do a full loop of your layout, for instance, and entering this reading on the website widget, you can easily find the scale distance of your layout track as it does the calculation for you, and it's all free. Go have a look at their website and I'll list it below. There's nothing in it for me at all, okay? Once you get your speed stick, you can play around with settings and have fun literally, and they will quickly become simple to work with and more so over a short period of time using speed stick. Should the fear of messing things up be a worry to you or concern you in any way, there's a simple factory default reset procedure in the straightforward manual. Why did I go for, say, the yellow OLED display over blue or white? Well, my eyes read this colour easiest. It may differ for you. So order the one that suits your eyes most or is most preferential to your layout and setup. The display is 120mm by 32mm, and I really find it clear and easy to read, simple to use and thoroughly thought through with this latest version. And the creator feels that this update is now good for some time to come. Yes, there'll be updates in the future, but it's got all singing and all dancing. It has everything on that I can imagine it needs. And I think the first version didn't have the milliseconds on, so couldn't capture really, really small trains. But I can time my trains even on setting 1. When I use, say, the HMDCC app, for instance, I can just have it on setting 1. It's crawling along and it still reads it successfully. As I say, I did have a couple of things to do, and there was one tiny M2 by 10mm screw missing on mine on the back that holds the fascias together. I ordered a pack for about £2.50 and Model Train Technology refunded my card to the tune of $5, which works out at £3.73. So they covered me costs, gave me the screw length that I needed, and I bought it over here to save them, airmailing me one tiny little screw all the way from the US. You might have an M2 by 10mm screw in your collection, but I didn't have anything that small. Model Train Technology have a direct email contact form on the website, and they responded to me promptly and quickly every single time, even when emails had been sent that weren't even sales related. It's great having this, and this was a Modeloco UK exclusive review of the Speed Stick from Model Train Technology. Stop the P2 so it doesn't get in the way. Lights off. I've altered the exposure rate so it should be a little bit better when it settles down. And there we go. Perfect. Lights back on again. It doesn't alter anything by having the coach lights on or by having the lights above you off or having low lighting. It still all works. Once that blue light's gone out, it's ready to sense another train. I ain't got the coaches lit on those Mark 1s. But there we go. Well, thanks for tuning in today, and that's just about it for another one. Give us a thumbs up, subscribe, give us a comment, keep things positive, and happy modelling until the next one. And it won't hurt the bank balance if you do subscribe. So come on, hit it. No, not me, that. See you on the next one. Happy modelling, guys.
So long
Bye.
for now, we'll be seeing you when Casey comes rolling by again with a steaming porter and a smoking stack, and the wheels are striking thunder on the railroad track. There'll be Casey Jr. and the Red Rock 2, Wally Cinders and the rest of the crew in a thrilling adventure that's a lot of fun. When Casey takes the throttle for another run, Casey Jones, steaming and a rolling. Casey Jones, you never have to guess. When you hear a tooting of the whistle, it's a Casey at the throttle of the Cannonball Express. Casey Jones, steaming and a rolling. Casey Jones, you never have to guess. When you hear a tooting of the whistle, it's a Casey at the throttle of the Cannonball Express.